Thank you everyone for joining this coaches meeting for the virtual event of RoboRay Calgary and also a training meeting, brief training meeting on the RoboSensei platform. Very happy to have you guys today, Friday, the 27th, here in Calgary, Canada. Welcome to our event and welcome to everyone from all over the world. Happy RoboRay Day. So starting, we are very excited, very happy to have you all here. We wanted to have an initial meeting for everyone that is joining the Robo Sensei competition. And our values always in Robo Rave has been like have fun, enjoy, and being a collaborative program more than all. So that's exactly what we want here for this competition. Some of you are only on the virtual competition and some of you have also teams in the physical robots competitions that will be having their time tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. So as I mentioned, everyone, please check your time zone and your time in your respective country. We are based in Calgary, Canada. This is mountain time, so it's like 7 hours behind the Greenwich Meridian in London. And so I'm happy to see you all here. We will try to have as many questions and suggestions solved for this meeting. The meeting is also being recorded and it will be posted later on Facebook. We are going to have this dynamic for the meeting. I'm going to be speaking. At the end, we will have any questions. I will ask anyone to please mute. And at the end of the meeting, we will have the questions that you have for the presenter here. By the way, my name is Henry Lopez. I am the coordinator of RoboRay Calgary, Canada. We are very happy. We were planning to have our initial live competition here in the beautiful city of Calgary. This is in the Rockies Mountains in Canada. But as you all know, we have in the 2020 year and things have happened, and now we are using internet and we are using all these means to connect to everyone in the world. And hopefully in a very short future, we will join together and we will have more RoboRaves and more robotics competition. That's what we like. And we have been. Okay, first I'm gonna start sharing my screen and keeping you on the same page on the platform and the competition that we are having. As you all know, this is RoboRay Calgary. The page for RoboRay is RoboRay International. And in the virtual side, in the simulator side, we are using a platform that is called RoboSensei. So I'm gonna share my screen right now. And we are going to RoboSensei. RoboSensei, we had set the platform with a specific leaderboard, and is the one with the Canadian flag and the cap. So this week we had checked that all the teams and individuals that have registered for the RoboRay Calgary, Canada competition are already in this leaderboard. You will see the leaderboard consists on 8 different challenges. We have amazing, and as you know, amazing is for the elementary school and the middle school. We have fastbot on the 3 different categories: elementary school, middle school, and our app category. if you have noticed, the upper category or the senior category for our competition is joined with the high school and university professional people or teens. So this is one difference. High school and up, if you are 14 years old or up, you have to play with the university professionals. And that's why we have 8 different tables. The other table will go with the line following one. We have elementary school, middle school, and as you see here, we have the high school and up line following. I will ask people to please mute their mics at the moment. Okay, and also we have some tables that are the app tables. So don't worry, this is not a mistake. This is not an error of the system. You will find those tables closed. Why? Because these app competitors will go along with the high school and app competitors. So that's the first thing that I want people to make sure that we are having everyone 3 different divisions. And in the high school and app competition, we will have a single group. Okay.
Henry, you should.
Yeah, I found the actually the button now to mute everyone, and I apologize, but it's the way to have like an organized training. We will have the questions at the end. So that's the first thing. We will have 8 different tables for the different competitors. Next is the point about authentication. Again, sharing my screen. First thing, we will recommend everyone to join through the RoboSensei platform. That's the platform that is holding the competition. It's the web application that is built by one of our directors, Chandra. And this is the platform that in which we centralize the logins. So everyone, please join through robosensei.net. This is because we want to equalize all the playfields, all the students and players, and be able to join in a similar way. I'm going to show you some things that have happened. Yeah, we know that are errors, but we we did it all this week to make sure that everyone can log and authenticate correctly. I have sent an email to everyone in the competition. So please, if you have not joined the competition this week or not joined RoboSensei, please test your accounts. There are 3 scenarios probably that you have. So if your account is correct and it was created some time ago with an email in RoboRave, you will be able to join with the same account. I'm gonna test with mine. So it's like this, and your particular password. Okay, so you join with the normal password. That's the first scenario. If your account is created in RoboSensei with an email, you will log with your email, and then the password will be the user ID that you have in RoboRave. I know it's a little bit tricky, but it's on the email. So please try any of those scenarios. In this case, this is my RoboRay ID. You know that this is a number. So instead of my password, I am joining with my RoboRay ID. Let's see, I go to RoboSensei, then I can join that way. And the other scenario is that I go with, I'm gonna, with a user that have not an email in RoboRay International. So what I will do is that I have my RoboRay ID in at roborayinternational.org. That is the way to log here in the platform. And this RoboRay ID is the password. I'm gonna try here, then I go, okay? So as you see here, I am into RoboSensei at the moment. I'm gonna stop share to again see you all guys. So that is the way to authenticate. Thank you, Andrew, to show the leaderboard for the competition. Then if you all have accounts, if your account is for some reason not login, please send us an email and then we will take care of that. There are 3 different ways to log, and those ways to log are the ones that I just showed you. For having any technical question this weekend, we set an email that is RoboRave Calgary RoboSensei at gmail.com. I am going to type it here on the chat to everyone. And I'm gonna paste it also on the website. So it's for everyone. RoboRay Calgary at RoboSensei, RoboRay Calgary, RoboSensei at gmail.com. That email is just for technical issues. I please ask you, it is something like something about your programming. Please don't send questions about that. That's basically the challenge, to know how to program or to try to improve our programming to beat the challenge. Yes, if it's something like, oh, why this line following is not working, or my sensor or something like that, please don't send that. It's just if you have problems with the authentication or something on the rendering of the web application, something like that. Okay, then I am going to share again my screen to go to RoboSensei. See something. Verify here. Let's go again, share my screen. So I'm gonna do a brief explanation of the platform. The platform is a web application and is designed to be a simulator of a robotic platform. So starting to the left, we have some menus. Then going further, we have here the programming blocks to program. You can program either by blocks here or by JavaScript. Then you have the canvas in which you program your robots. And then you have the play field. Something very important, you have here the missions, and all missions should be open right now for practice and train. So for instance, I can go to any one of these missions, and the missions for the competition will be open after 3 p.m. today, Calgary time. So just for an example, if I go here, it shows me what has been my score. And if I click play, I can play this mission that is amazing. So all these ones are open, but the mission for your specific challenge will be open after 3 p.m. today. We will open that mission in our opening ceremony. Going back to the menu, we have activities. These are basic blocks of programming that you can use. As I mentioned before, we have two different programming languages. Blocks is a programming language that is pretty similar to Scratch. The MIT created programming language for do basic programming and to learn how to program. In JavaScript, JavaScript is a scripting language. I will do some examples in this training. We have also these groups. Beta is an option that is for teaching. Is not necessary for actually for the competition. So summarizing, you can go to any mission, even if you are not of that age. I am going right now to any mission, like can go to line following here. Can go to amazing Baltic bot. This is a very interesting mission, and I can play with that. Then I will go to the menus that are important for this weekend. Options, you can select any one of these robots. When you join the platform, you will have a default robot, but then you can choose any one of these ones, your favorite or the one that you have more experience with. You can even have this crab robot, so it's nice. There is like physical robots in the real world, like this M-Bot. There is the Explorer, the RoboSensei. Those are really nice robots. Then the track, you can choose a track, but as I mentioned, we have activities and missions, so it's recommended to go for maybe a mission to particularly have those skills. Then summarizing, we have different options that are changing just by clicking a button. It's pretty straightforward. The revolution per minute, so the number of cycles that your wheels are going to spin. The wheels, you see the difference here is basically the diameter. Then in the terms of sensors, you can have sensors attached or detached, right? And also in some specific sensor like the line sensor or IR sensor, because it's infrared, you can have dual sensor or an array of sensors according to your robot. For instance, the robot that I have here doesn't have the array of 8 sensors. There are some other robots that have it. I think the RoboSensei, yes, the RoboSensei have an array of sensors. So if you know how to program 8 different sensors, you can use it. So that's options. Say code, this is important. If you are working with your code, I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that I have been working on this one is the amazing track. If you have your code, I have my code here in blocks, and I want to save it, I have to go to this option, Save Code, and click here in Save. Then when you come back to the same mission, the code will appear here. So that's the way it works. So it's a very practice and very good application that we have. It's a web application, so the good thing is that it's accessible for everyone, like with this direction. Okay, there are other features. My files is at this moment is not applicable. Actually, we have in the meeting the developer of the application, and maybe he at the end can add anything that I am missing about the application. So as I mentioned, it's a great application, very convenient. You don't have to download anything, it's on the web. So I can introduce you guys to Chandra later after my training, and then he can add anything that maybe I am missing. We have these examples, C code. These are functionality that at the moment are like maybe disabled. And then in help is important. You can find a help in both languages, in blocks and also in JavaScript. To do what with those help codes, you can do like the basic movements on Amazing, the line following. You can learn how to do an intersection. So that's a very good point to learn how to improve your programming. Okay, and then here, logout, if you click on logout, you will go out. Okay. Yes, I just stopped share to see you guys again. That was the menu, the main menu with all the options of RoboSensei. I'm going now to share the screen, and we go to what we actually like, that is like programming, right? So I am here on the, let's do 1016, 1017, Amazing Elementary School Challenge. If I go here, because I am an old user, I have actually code in this track. So important things, you have your code here, your menu, and then here in your canvas, you can add the code. The code is designed to be joined, but if you add code here, it will go and execute sequentially from the top to the bottom, even if you had not joined it. So an example, if I have another instruction here, maybe a conditional or even another instruction like this, it will execute. Just to make a test, probably this one executes improperly because I just changed the options on my robot. But yes, you see, these instructions are not tied, but that is not an error. It's just the way it works. You can have like all your code like from top to the bottom, and any instruction that you put on the canvas will be executed. We have here this garbage bin in which you can delete your blocks, and also you can actually move one block here to the controls area, and it will also be deleted. I ask everything in the audience, if you already know all these things, please bear with me. The idea is to have like a homogeneous meeting and a homogeneous play field for everyone. That's why I am reviewing these things. I'm gonna go to, actually I have like playing in most of them. So if I go, let's say to this one, just to test, it doesn't really matter the field. If I go better to this one. I will do a brief summary of the 3 challenges that we are having, and bear with me, don't pay attention to my code. I just want to do like a brief training on how to code. Yes. So amazing, basically the amazing, the idea is to have your robot moving through the different points and going through the maze, but connecting the points, so touching the points, right? For amazing is the same as in the physical world. You don't need any sensors. And this is the way that you will program it in RoboSensei. If you have blocks, you will just use the movement blocks. They are here. We have a block that has power and time included. So is this one. You can have your left and right wheel with different power or the same power, and then you can put a time on that. I'm gonna try this one, and then I move. In this case, my robot is moving and it's still not accessing one point. So that's why the score is not moving. So actually we have a console here over the play field, and I'm going to go through the controls of the console. We have on the left the time, then we have the home. The home, when you click on the home, let's say I have my robot here and I click on the home, it will always go to the initial position. Doesn't matter. So it's after each round, after each try, click on the home and you will go to the initial position. This one play is to execute my code. Then we have this dial, is like make tours on my robot. But if you click home again, you will go to the middle and the initial position. And this one is like for debugging, is the dashboard in which the sensors are going to be shown the line sensors. Remember, infrared sensors. Bump sensor is a touch sensor. Your robot moves and can touch some object. You have it. And then the distance sensor, if your robot had that distance sensor, it will measure distance. It's basically an ultrasound sensor. So you have movement like this, and then you have movement with power and also time. So these two instructions are the same, actually. So I go with my power and with my time here. Why we have two instructions? Because sometimes you don't need time. You have the power applied to your wheels, and then there is a cycle or a loop or an expression that is working with that movement. I'm gonna do this, execute it. So there is here a movement that is a little weird because the right wheel is on -50. That is one wheel going forward and the other backward. So I'm gonna put both of them similar situation and the similar status 50-50, and then I go play, and then yeah, it's moving forward. As I mentioned, I want to reach at least the number 1. 8 seconds, just for the sake of reaching it. Then I click, and then it will go to number 1 at least. Then my score will start to count. This is interesting when the store score starts to count, now you will be on the leaderboard. There is a general leaderboard, so for that challenge, I will be having some score, right? Again, if you don't want your code to be deleted or removed, go to save, and you have to click on this one, save, to store your code, and then when you go back to your mission, it will be there. Okay, stop sharing in the moment. Everyone is there. So, okay. Let's go back to stop my video here. Okay, let's go back to RoboSensei, and now I will go to the challenges that are with sensors. So we can go to challenges line following, maybe. I have some code that I made in JavaScript, but let's talk about these challenges. So these challenges, you will use the different sensors that are here. We have for these challenges, the challenge that is line following, specifically the line sensor is the infrared sensor. So infrared sensor shows you the intensity of the light that is reflected from the surface. So more than 50 is basically white, and less than 50 is black. So in this case, I'm gonna make like a little example. You guys, that's actually part of the job of a programmer, to start to research and know how to check those sensors. So I'm gonna check like in an if. I'm gonna open here an else if, just for an example, right? And I'm gonna check if my left sensor is on white. Okay, I have it here. I am not going to show you like how to program a line following robot, because that will be like giving you like the challenge, or giving you like the idea of the competition. I am going to show you how to measure the sensors basically. So if I am here, I will say that what happened if my LED sensor is on white. I am going to move straight. Let's do this conditional. So I'm gonna play it, and it's not moving straight. Okay, so first you have to check if your robot had actually an array of sensors, infrared sensors. In the case that I was showing you, there is the option to check the left and right sensor. So you have to have a dual sensor here. The array of 8 is programmed a little bit different. That's kind of your homework. You want to do it like that. But I am showing here how to check the left and right sensor. Let's go back to the code. I go here. If your left IR sensor is on white, you will move straight forward. Otherwise, you will stop. Actually, I'm gonna use just an else, because it's two options here. Okay, doing a stop. What I'm telling you guys here applies for line following and also the fastbot. Okay, I am executing, it's not moving. So what you can do is debug. You will click here and you will see if your sensors are in which position. My left sensor is supposed to be on um, white left. Let me see. Yeah, and here is on black, but now if I move it here is on white. And then I am asking the program if it's on white to move. As you have this kind of programming, is better to have it like constantly asking. So I will do it in a loop. So you have a loop for different quantity of times. So let's say 4 times, but I want to loop here, let's say forever. So I will do like a repeat while, and then going to true. So repeat while true is like continuously repeating, and it will be asking my robot if my sensor is on white. Let's move. Okay, so let's do it. Let's play it here. Okay, it was on white there, so that's why it's moving. And then here it stops. Okay, that was a thing about the positioning of the robot. So you can always check with the dashboard in which number or in which value is the sensors sensing actually. Okay, I'm gonna be stop sharing my screen. And right now I will receive any question. So if you have any question, please unmute yourself and ask the question. Also, if you want to ask the question on the chat, it's okay too. Okay, from Brian Yin. Hi, Brian. What was that leaderboard website you had at the front beginning of the meeting? Okay, yes, let's go there. When you go to the RoboSensei site, I am going to log out here. You had two leaderboards. This is the general leaderboards with all the missions that I show you. And this one will, the Canada flag and the cup is the leaderboard for specifically the event that is going to start today. So we go here. That's a good practice. Please make sure that you are into this list. Yes, we have people checking this week. So it's loading. So we have the participants of the competition here. We see a lot of flags, Philippines, Colombia, Mexico, Canada, China. And then, yes, make sure that you are there. The parts of the tables are the following one. You will see a number. This is the number of the challenge that you are having. Our challenge go from 2001 to 2008. I told you, like, if you are in high school or up, you will be competing in the same category. Also, you will see the name, the quantity of players for that table. As we are starting here, they are positioned. In the first position, all of the players of this table are located right now in the same position. Then you will see the name of the person of the player, and in parentheses, this is the team that you register in the RoboRay webpage. So you will see some people that have the same team is because they are joining a team. They are not in as individuals. Also, mm, we have the score that you had done at the moment. Everyone is 0. And as I mentioned, the flags. So this is a good addition that Chandra added to the platform to have the flags. Again, I'm going to repeat the last 2 tracks are closed, and those are for people that are in app. And I repeat again, those people are combined with the high school competition. So it's not an error. You are here, don't worry, in this high school app fastbot and high school app line following. Okay. So that is the leaderboard that we have for this specific competition. The other leaderboard is the general leaderboard, and you will see the history of people in the different missions. Okay, another question from Sean. Thank you, Sean, for being here. If the stop status will affect the scores, for example, the position of angle of the last stop of the car. If the stop status will affect the scores, for example, the position or angle or the last stop of the car. Okay, if I understand your question, you are maybe asking how we handle reaching the goal, the last part of the track. It doesn't really matter. What matters is time. So the time that you last for accomplishing the competition is what is handled here. So the position, it will matter if for some reason you reach the goal faster than another competitors, but anyone can win even if you're going to stray or in an angle. If we run the same code multiple times, we'll have different results. Can you explain why the RoboSensei behave like this? This is a good question. Is on the behavior of the platform. I will say like try to you have a code, don't change it right away. Let's do it like maybe 5 times. That's what I usually do. And then you see that is behaving like you don't want, maybe make the change. Why? Because it works like you have seen in Amazing, maybe in the physical world. I'm being like coaching. Is very, very, very specific. The initial position to make you like the same path. So that's part of the platform. We can have maybe an explanation on Chandra at the end. The score to beat is the highest score or I can reach in the competition, or it is the highest score from all the players only. Is the highest score in that table, right? Maybe there is another score that can be accomplished, but if the highest score in the table that I show you for your specific category, that will be the one to beat, right? So hi, thanks for the helpful session. Can you brief the login and authentication procedure again, specifically in case where the RoboRay account already exists? So if the RoboRay account already exists, we have 2 scenarios. If you have like email and is an old account that is also set in RoboSensei that you have played before, you can go with your normal email and then your password. If the account is not yet set in RoboSensei, you will go with your normal email and your RoboRave ID. That is the number. We know the score will be saved automatically. If the program will be saved automatically as well, very good question, Mr. Liu. No, the program, you had to go to the save code option, click on there, and also on the save button to save it. What is your RoboRave account? It's just a username and there is no email. So that question, RoboRave account is this number. When I am saying RoboRave account is this number. So if you don't have email in RoboRave, you have to log with this number at RoboRave International. I'm going to give you the example. Just as an example, if it is not working and you haven't played, so test it this way. You copy this number, it's a number, and then I will go with at RoboRay International dot international.org, and then the password. A password is the same number. Okay, that is the way that some accounts have to log. So the recommendation, again, go to robosensei.net and test your accounts. I have known that most of you guys had done it this week because you have been practicing. Okay. So user ID at RoboRave International. I am typing in the chat the way to log for the ones that are having issue. User ID, the user ID, remember, is that number, and password is the user ID. User ID. If a robot leaves the line but continues in another section, is it valid? For example, in a section occurs, the robot makes a straight path and rejoins the line. So the idea is to join the points and going through the line. That is the idea of the challenge, like in the real world, following the line. Don't skip it and go away from the track. You have to join the numbers by going through the line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Okay, thank you. Maybe I have many questions. Thank you for all the questions. We have Chandra, that is the developer of the platform here. Thank you, Chandra, for being in this meeting. Maybe you want to add something that I have missed?
Hi, good morning, everyone. How are you doing? All right. I think, Henry, you covered it quite well. The only thing that I want to say is that the array of sensors, they can only use with JavaScript, not with blocks, because that is complicated, and we wanted to only offer it to the higher grade students. Also in the help menu, they will find all the JavaScript APIs. Each of the functions are described in there and along with the examples. And I think you covered how the scoring is done. That is, as you hit each of the blue blinking dots, you will be awarded scores, and you have to follow them in the sequence that is laid out there. With respect to the question about why the robot doesn't do the exact same thing every time, I would say it's a somewhat imperfection in the simulation. So so you have to, in some ways, it is similar to the physical robot, if you're using DC motors, they are not perfect. They don't. They cannot perform precisely every time the same way unless you use very expensive motors, precisely probably made in Japan. Um, so those it in a way it kind of gives you that feeling, but it's mainly due to some imperfections in our simulation that we are trying to improvise on. This will affect you primarily the amazing challenge, and I think Henry's suggestion was actually great. Uh, you want to make multiple runs because it's very easy. You just push stop and push run again, and then you observe it, and then determine how you want to change the code. That's actually good practice. That one is unlikely to affect your line following type of challenges because you're in a feedback loop. You're not depending on time move.
Hello. Hello. Hi, this is Maggie. The question is asking by me. Actually, the real scenario when I'm calling read this question is it's not amazing, this challenge. It is happening in high school line following. We do have a student that had this question. The same code he run like 10 times out of like 8 of times is not reading. The robot is out of control, right? So that is like we really just want to know what kind of suggestion you can providing to us, because it's just not like it's a randomly run and then there's a waiting for the result come back, because that is a little bit hard to explain to students, right? So that's just really want to have a really solid suggestion from you guys. Yeah, where we are going to go, right? From the
Yeah, so the main thing with line following type of challenge is you are reading the sensor value and then you are making a corrective action. So there is a time between when the sensor is read and when you are reacting to the sensor value. So that's where I would suggest that they start with slower speeds. So what happens is if you're going very fast, by the time you read the next sensor value, you're way off the line. You don't even know how to correct. So start with a slower speed, and that's actually the kind of skill to kind of understand the dynamics of the environment of the robot and figuring out that optimal time to how fast I can go, and then how fast I need to correct. So if you're going fast, your correction also has to be faster. If you're going slow, your correction can be slower. So students have to kind of figure out that optimal one. So the way I do it is I start slowly, first make sure I can traverse the line reliably, and then slowly inch up the speed to get more points, if that makes sense.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
And for higher people who could use H sensor array, which is a little more complicated, you have to use JavaScript. That provides a little a better performance because you have H sensor. Your control resolution is much higher as opposed to yes or no, yes or no.
Hi there. It's Kitty here. I got a question. The sample codes provided for the array of 8 sensors actually don't seem to work. I copied and pasted it into our window, and it just kept returning error code 255.
Can you is this the JavaScript code?
Yeah, it is the JavaScript.
Okay, let me take a look.
Well, I noticed that there was a semicolon missed, but even that, even after I added back, it still doesn't seem to work. It just kept returning the same error code.
Second. Can I share my screen?
Yes, I am allowing you to share the screen. It's interesting in the JavaScript side, I have worked with examples and they work with the initial 50-50 speed. So yeah, and I allow you to share the screen. Chandra.
Okay, I am sharing.
Well, I'm trying to make, but
Okay, so we go to the help. Which one? Just help me here to reach the code you're talking about. Which part of the code that you were trying?
No, it's not the T-junction. Can you move forward more? I mean, move down. Yeah, it's this one.
Oh, the PID one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
When I had made a... Anna was using this. Anna, is there a problem in this code that I did not correct? So let's walk through this code, what it is doing. Is that okay, Henry? Do you have time or?
Thank you. Actually, if you try this code, I think it will be very helpful for everyone.
Yeah, let's just
bruh. That's
okay. Let's make it so we can see it better. So I started with.
I'm trying to look at this meeting.
Sorry.
We're doing questions right now.
Yes, maybe let's wait until Chandra executes this code, and then we can continue with your question. And Sean is saying that if we set the KP constant to 25, it will work fine. He's saying that on the chat.
Okay.
So we can try.
Yeah, so that's part of the thing that you have to tune the loop. Let's see, actually, let's see if the code even runs. I think this requires 8 sensors. Let me see if I don't have 8 sensors. Let me get the sensor array. Yeah, so it's so a couple of things here. It is the sample code here is, I guess, probably, I don't remember, intentionally not made perfect, but you get the idea. Well, one thing that I want to let you know is this. This is actually a problematic line here. This T-print, you can print out error messages or information here, but that actually is going to mess up the robot sensing and everything, that it makes the timing off. So you want to use that very sparingly. If you really want to see something, you don't know what's going on, use it. But in your constantly, if you're executing code faster, don't use that debug message. once you're there, it kind of gets confused. So
And
obviously so you need to tune the loop. So for example, somebody suggested
25 on the KP.
the component to 25. So by changing the proportional component to 25, so I changed it from 5 to 25. That means I've increased the correction factor with respect compared to the error. Previously, it was a much lesser. So I think because this is a sharp turn, he was not able to negotiate the turn. So let's see. It's a little bit better.
Awesome. Awesome.
So this is actually a great way to teach students how to tune a control loop. So from this stage to, you can tune it so that it runs really, really smooth, you know, as opposed to the one with the 2 sensors.
If I can suggest, it's easier to start with one of the parts of the controller. So maybe put 0 to KI and KD, and then start with tuning the only proportional part. Because if you're doing the line following and the integral part, it's not the best idea, and it doesn't help.
It's very smooth now.
Oh, it's Kitty again who asked the question. Oh, thank you so much for, I didn't realize that we can just fine tune those numbers. But is there any sort of like references that we can use to, you know, at least to understand how those KB, KI, KD work? Because like, for example, what's the range for them? Are they from 0 to 100 as well, or?
Yeah, so actually the range, the only range that we have here is the motor power, that is 0 to 100 and minus 100 to 100. So it's going to be capped at 100. So at the end, all these values are put in this formula, and it's coming up with a value between minus 100 to 100. And even if you have more than 100, the program is going to cap it at 100. So yeah, and generally, if you want to know how the PID control works, you can look in Wikipedia. And then, as Anna said, for example, the integral component, it's more relevant for, you know, like temperature control and things like that, where you have to constantly input something, or it actually works better maybe if you have a constant type of curve. So it's actually a nice, it's a very popular engineering control loop technique.
I was going to also suggest there's a lot of great tutorials if you just Google them on learning PID coding, and it's definitely not for the beginner.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, thanks. I guess I just haven't got a chance to dig deeper. I have another question. Is there a timer that can be used?
Actually, this question came, I think somebody else also asked. So you actually have access to full JavaScript API. You should be able to use the timers. I have not tried it. Actually, I want to try it and then put it out in the help file, just to give you an example of how to use it. But in theory, you should be able to use all the JavaScript libraries in here. So the basic language.
See.
Yeah, you should be able
to. Okay. Okay. That makes things easier. Thank you.
Very cool.
And let me know if you make an example so we can share it with others. I was going to do that too. Okay, Henry, it's over to you.
Yes, maybe we just have a last question from Jenny, from the Philippines. Thank you for being here. She said that for the high school line following, students robot was able to follow the line, reach the cap, turn around and go back, but the score didn't change and stayed at 150. Can you give more info on how the scoring works for the virtual high school line following? So I think it's on the points that had to be reached by the robot, like sequentially. Otherwise, it won't move. I don't see any other way that maybe a score just stay in 150, doing all the way back to home after going to the tower. Maybe Chandra can have an idea. What I think is.
I'm sorry, what was that? Can you explain? Is it
So
in the chat?
it's on the chat, yes, from Jenny. You see.
For the high school line following, the student robot is able to follow the line, reach the cup, turn around and go back, but the score didn't. So this can happen if you didn't hit one of the milestones in the right sequence, and then even if you start hitting the other milestones, the application treats it as you kind of didn't follow the line correctly. So we have to hit all the milestones in the sequence. If you hit one, if you miss one in the sequence, then rest of it doesn't matter. You won't award points. I'm suspecting that could be the reason. If not, Jenny, I can connect with you offline if you show me if something is weird.
Yes, and Jose Moreno is asking if there is a quick way to clean up the console.
I noticed that no. I noticed that you got to scroll down. This is the JavaScript console. I suspect you're
Yes,
for.
the print.
Yeah, unfortunately there is no way. I will have to add a facility, add a button there to clean it up. But with my with what I said today, don't use that in your running program, especially in loops. That's going to just cause it to miss the sensors and everything.
Yes, maybe for something that is stop or very slow or something. Yeah, but like as a way of the bug, but on bugs it will do a bad performance on your program. And Jose is saying thanks, Chandra, for the debugging. I also will say thank to you, like for this explanation, and also Anna, you gave a good explanation. And on the PID, and actually that's the whole science, like to synchronize those parameters, and that's what happened also in the real world with the speed or the fastbot robots, that you had to be playing with those parameters to make your robot faster or take the turns properly. So thank you so much to all of you. There is another question. Is there a full score for each game? Is there a full score? Don't quite know what means by full score. I mean, like the maximum score, maybe? Is there if the score is the unlimited, that means the participants can try to get higher score, even if they have been the number one. So maybe if I understand the question, is there like a maximum score that can be done, Chandra?
Yes. So so there are two parts to the score. If you complete the path forward and backward, for example, for the line following, you will get a certain number of points, and that is same for everyone. So you hit all the milestones, you're awarded certain number of points, and they vary between track to track, but on a given track they remain constant. But after that, whatever is time remaining from the 2 minutes or 3 minutes clock, by the time you completed all the milestones, each of the seconds will become a point for you. So they get added to your score. So once you complete the path, that's your baseline, then you try to do it faster to get more points.
Yes, that at that moment is timing. The more seconds you say, the more bonus points you get. Yeah, that's right, Jenny. Yes, I think if you guys have no more questions, I think maybe we can leave the meeting like that. I actually thank you all of you guys. And remember, the most important thing is to enjoy. Maybe some suggestions, maybe you are playing in a specific challenge. You have access to all the platform. As you see, you have 48 hours, so you have patience. you can have some patience, and also you are already achieving some score. Maybe you can go back and go to another track or another challenge, and maybe just to rehearse and to change your mindset, because we as programmers sometimes are focused in something very specific and then we get burned out. So don't get burned out, try to enjoy it. Maybe you are doing line following and then you want to rest, go to Amazing or go to the Baltic boat. It's a good exercise also. And yes, I consider everything, consider that this is a platform to learn. And you see the people that are in front of this platform, Chandra, we have here the directors, Jenny, Anna, thank you so much, Brian, Fred. I see many people here. Sorry if I miss one of you, Yvonne. All of these are people that are really accomplished for education. So we are here to serve you, and the most important thing is to have fun, to enjoy all the experience. You have 48 hours to enjoy being in a global competition, and also you can try to make friends. We are going to have more meetings, the opening ceremony, closing ceremony. You can see the videos for the IQ challenge. Try to enjoy yourself in this global event that we are having. Maybe a last question. Emmanuel, will the score of the teams be added according to what each member achieves, or just the highest score of one of the members? At this moment, I think we are having the highest score of the members. That's what is the question. But everyone in the team can play. That's something also good about this virtual competition, that is not only the one that is programming or building the robot like in a physical one. You have a team here, all of them have accounts and all of them can play. And yes, to robot number one teacher 5 MP, we will post this video for sure on Facebook for everyone to see it. So not having much to say, thank you so much. And again, enjoy these 48 hours of playing or programming from people all over the world. Thank you, guys, and see you in the next meeting and the next time in our RoboRay Calgary 2020. Thank you. Bye.